What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So, we all know Crown Jewel is taking place in about 3 weeks from now, whatnot, and one of the matches that's already been confirmed for that show will be none other than the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins versus the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. Now, they did this last year when they do champion versus champion, and we're continuing that tradition this year. I thought we were not going to be doing this tradition because we're going to Australia, but I guess it doesn't matter where we're going. We're still doing these champion versus champion matches and everything and so forth and like that, right? But I want to make this video today because talking about why Seth Rollins should defeat Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. Now, we know their history for with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. It's on record. Everybody knows when Cody Rhodes came back, his first match and his first feud was against Seth Rollins. We seen this at WrestleMania 38. They were telling the story of who was going to be Seth Rollins' opponent. Seth Rollins was going into the show where he felt like he wasn't going to have a match at WrestleMania. They were telling that story going into it, and we finally found out that it was going to be none other than Cody Rhodes, who was going to come back and take on Seth Rollins. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this match was really, really good. The in-ring aspect was there, the chemistry was there. Cody Rhodes felt like he didn't miss a beat in that ring, especially in the WWE ring, even though he was still doing things in other companies from AEW to Ring of Honor to NWA and so on and so forth. But he came back with a fire lit under him because he came back to want to become WWE champion, right? Seth Rollins was the guy that was trying to keep him from getting to that point, right? And if you look at the story they were telling, Seth Rollins was almost as a gatekeeper, didn't want these people coming back and trying to take away his shine. He's done it with CM Punk, he's done it with Cody Rhodes, and he's probably going to do it with other people who decide to come back to WWE, whether if it's going to be a Matt Cardona, John Moxley, Chris Jericho, you can only speculate, right? So he was kind of being a character like that. And like I said, the match was good, but the feud continued where they ended up doing a match at Backlash, which he ended up winning there, and we got the end of the feud and the trilogy being none other than Hell in a Cell, where he had the torn pec. And I'm telling you, I was very surprised that he was doing a match like that with the way his shoulder was looking. I'm like, how? You gotta be a very special individual to go in a match like that grueling, with one of the very best, and put on a match of that caliber. Not many people can say they've been able to do that and pushing themselves to a level like that to do that. And then Seth Rollins ended up falling to Cody Rhodes once again. With three, pretty much, if this was, I don't like to use sports term, but this man got swept. He got swept in a best of 3 series with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes swept, right? But Seth Rollins bounced back. He went on to become a world champion the very next year. Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, it took some time for Cody Rhodes to get to the championship, but Seth Rollins became world champion the very next year. But here's where the thing is. You still have been teasing this over the years, right? You've been still teasing this over the years. And think about it. WrestleMania 40. Seth Rollins told Cody, I'm going to be your shield. I'm going to be there for you to help you finish your story and become world champion. And he did. He sacrificed himself for Cody. He sacrificed his world championship and his well-being and his physical being to make sure the moment happened. The moment was realized that Cody Rhodes finished his story and became WWE champion. Even in the process, like I said, he gave up his world championship in the process. He gave up his well-being. He had to take time off post WrestleMania to recover from all the injuries that he's been suffering the going into WrestleMania 41. So you were bringing up the story again where we're getting this match going into Crown Jewel. We've seen the last time we've seen these two compete, 2022. And now we're seeing it 3 years later. This needs to be a moment where Seth Rollins finally gets the win over Cody. Cody does not really suffer from a loss or anything like that. He's still Cody Rhodes. He's still WWE champion. But Seth Rollins is in a situation where he needs to win this. It is almost as a win or go home situation for him. You can tell that him losing all those times to Cody has ate away at him. And it's made him, in his mind, become the thing that he didn't want to be. But he wanted to prove that he's the best. Seth Rollins wants to prove that he's the A-plus player, that he's the main event player, that he's the quarterback of the WWE. And in some way, shape, or form, we can all agree that he is the quarterback of the WWE. He's carried the company through hard times, the pandemic era, carried it on his back. He tried to make sure that world championship was being defended when Roman Reigns was not here defending his championship. Who stepped up? Seth Rollins is the one stepped up. Cody Rhodes was still battling to get to that point. He was still battling to get his moment. After coming up short at WrestleMania 39, he had to go back to the drawing board and build himself from the ground up, going back after the championship, going through some of the biggest tasks that he had to go through, both mentally and physically, to get to that point. The whole story with going into WrestleMania 40 with him and The Rock, he had to overcome that to get to his championship match. And he overcame that. Why he overcame that is because of Seth Rollins. He overcame that because of Seth Rollins and what he did and what he sacrificed for to make sure that moment was realized. And now we're seeing it full circle. Now we're back to 2022 all over again, where almost seems like we're picking up where we left off, where Seth Rollins just couldn't buy a win over Cody Rhodes. And I honestly felt that we were going to get at least one win for Seth in that feud, but we didn't. But this is playing into the story. This is playing into his character. Now that he is almost what he was fighting against, he became the guy that wants to be surrounded by the yes men to tell him how good he is. When we all know how good Seth Rollins is, we know that for a fact. That doesn't need to be debated. But now we're in a situation. Seth Rollins not only needs to win, he has to win. He has to overcome his demons. He has to overcome the one guy that he could not beat. And that's Cody Rhodes. Now he can win this fair and square, but we know that's not going to happen because why? He's going to probably use the vision to his advantage. We know one thing about Cody. His biggest weakness is the numbers game. And Cody Rhodes knows that. Seth Rollins can exploit that by using that against him in his favor to get the win by any means. Therefore, Seth Rollins has to win this because if you think about Cody Rhodes and him and his championship reign, go over to Seth Rollins. He's been the one that's been defending his championship win since SummerSlam. We haven't really been doing anything with Cody Rhodes and his championship story and what feuds we can be building up for him. We haven't been doing that. But for Seth, we've been telling stories this entire year with Cody Rhodes, with CM Punk, the Vision, that storyline, Paul Heyman, him being the wise man for Seth Rollins, his explanation for why he's doing what he's doing. So now, like I said, if he wins this, he uses the Vision to his advantage, right? And on top of that, he overcomes his one obstacle. And it helps legitimize his reign even more. We already can agree Seth Rollins is a decent world champion, but he needs that one defining moment that can carry him from one level to the next level. He needs that one defining moment to carry his championship reign even forward to where it's like, who can finally step up and put Seth Rollins down for good? Who could step up and face the Vision and take them down in the process to get to Seth Rollins to ensure that there's a one-on-one scenario where they could become a world champion. We're seeing the story between him and Punk. We know that feud's going to continue. But before we get to that and circle back to that, he needs to overcome one of his biggest odds, and that is none other than the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. He has to. He has to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has to win because not only does it help legitimize his reign, but it helps legitimize the Vision as well. It makes them look even more stronger because now they've been doing that with in recent weeks with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, making them feel like a threat, having them win back-to-back matches. They won on SmackDown. They won at WrestlePalooza, which I believe they're going to continue racking up these wins and go after the tag titles and win those in the process. But outside of that, you're helping legitimize them, but you're also legitimizing the guy that's running the operation. That is none other than Seth Rollins. But if you're gonna want to legitimize him, he has to take on all comers and overcome in the end. If you have him lose, that doesn't make him look any better. That makes him look inferior to none other than Cody Rhodes. Granted, Cody Rhodes is a huge star. I'm not gonna take that away from him. But Seth Rollins has to win this. He has to overcome. He has to legitimize his reign. He has to show everybody why he is the world champion and why he's going to try to continue being the world champion until somebody takes it off of him, which I don't think that's going to happen until WrestleMania or at the earliest Royal Rumble. So we're still a little bit of ways of seeing that happen. But this is a moment we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, where he has to do this. He has to overcome Cody Rhodes. He has to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He needs and has to win. But you guys comment down below. Let me know. Do you guys think Seth Rollins should defeat Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel this year? Let me know in the comment section down below. Road to 2,000 subscribers. Ultimate goal is 10,000 subscribers. We're trying to get to that goal very, very soon. So if you guys keep subscribing, keep showing love and support to the channel. I appreciate every single one of you guys that subscribe, share my videos, all that good stuff. But you guys, I couldn't do this without you guys. So the grind continues. With that being said, hope everyone's a great day, great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.